Get a mic. We'll start with Austin.
Coach, just, the move from Vols into the slot, does he seem like he gets more and more confident, and just he seems so tough to tackle and tough to bring down on yards after contact. What kind of makes him that way?
Confidence with Vols is not an issue at all. He really does believe he's good, and he is a really good player. A veteran guy that you can move from outside to inside, like I spoke about earlier in the spring and summer as well. And he's been very productive in the slot. And like you said, he's almost like a running back with the ball in his hands. He's really hard to tackle. He's strong. He plays through contact. He's got really good ball skills. And just, once again, a veteran guy, played a lot of football, and excited to really see his role continue to grow and build.
Rob.
Coach, back in the spring, I think most of us would have thought that if you guys were going to be good at receiver, some of those sophomores were really going to have to step up. But instead, you've had three veterans step up and produce more than they have at any point in their careers. Did you see those guys as being capable of that, Cedric, Javonte, and Vols?
For sure. I think a lot of times you just have to have an opportunity and a chance. I think Tillman, I heard a crazy stat. I think he's been here 3 years, only had 8 receptions up until this year. And you just kind of see his growth and instill confidence in Tillman. And he was a guy that I've been talking about since the spring, that he could be a problem for defenses. Whenever you're that big, you can run, you got good ball skills. He's a good player. And I think it just came down to him getting reps, time on task in games, and he's a confident player right now. Javonte Payton, another guy that was at another school, didn't really get the opportunities that he wanted to, and now just instilling confidence in him. That's why I recruited the kid. I thought he was a good player, good ball skills, explosive, can run. He just needed that opportunity, and he has it, and he sees the moment. You see him each week. I think he scored a touchdown in the last 4 games, so he's a really good player. He's starting to improve every single week, and really excited about these veteran guys.
Right in the back.
Back here, Coach. In that same vein, we have not seen as much of those younger receivers the last couple of weeks. Kind of where are those guys, Jimmy Callaway and some of those young guys? And kind of what was the thinking in paring down what looks like you pared down the reps for the wide receivers since SEC play, or since the Florida game, really?
For sure. We got some talented young players that have to really grow up, and it's all about an opportunity. And when those guys get the opportunity to play, you have to capitalize. And I think you saw Jalen Hyatt do that this past game. And then really, you talk about getting into SEC play. One thing that I do know about the SEC is it's a big boy league, and you really want to go with experience. And we've done that the last few weeks, and I think it's paid off. And at the same time, those young guys get a chance to still play a little bit and truly grow, and they're going to be good players. Just got to make sure you seize the opportunity when your time is called.
Back to Austin in the West.
Coach, you referenced Javonte. He scored every one of those touchdowns like early in the game, and then all of a sudden it just kind of disappears. What's been the cause for that? And then, 2, with Jalen having those drops early in the year, to make the tough catch he made Saturday, how much, as a former athlete yourself, how much can that get a kid like that going when you make a really tough catch after having, maybe some, drops?
Yeah, for sure. Javonte, early in games, obviously has made some big-time plays. And it just, every game transpires different. I think the last couple games, the ball was really pushed more to Tillman, which is fine. And I mean, Tillman was making plays, and then Javonte, these last 6 or 7 weeks, very well could be him as well, being the guy. So you just got to be ready when the opportunity presents itself, and I think he will be. I think you'll continue to see Javonte make plays, and not just a one touchdown deal and kind of goes missing. We're going to try to find ways to get him the ball because he's a really good player. And then you talk about Jalen Hyatt. The few drops he had early in the season, just really had to work on his ball skills and grip strength. And I think that you see him growing, because that catch in the end zone is not something that a normal, every single day receiver makes. You got to really work on those things. And he's put that extra work in as far as working on his ball skills and making those competitive catches. And that's one thing about this league. In the SEC, you got to be able to make competitive catches. And if he continues to do that, he's the fastest guy we got on the team. So he's going to be very, very hard to cover.
Kodi, how quickly after Javonte Payton sort of arrived and got on campus and everything, how long did it take y'all to see that, okay, maybe his numbers at State weren't huge, but this guy can play?
Not very long. Part of the reason we recruited him was because I saw a skill set. I saw an explosive player with really good ball skills that was twitchy, and can really run. And one thing we like in this offense is we like receivers that can run and really blow the top off the coverage. And I think you've seen that in these games. All of his touchdowns have been big plays where he's getting behind the defense. And so it didn't take long when he stepped on campus to know Javonte can be a big-time playmaker for us, and he's done that so far. And so it's our job to really put him in positions to continue to do that.
Jimmy?
Coach, since Hendon Hooker took over at quarterback, talk about the chemistry he has built by getting all the first-team reps in practice between Hooker and the receivers.
That's what it comes down to. It's time on task. It's chemistry like you talked about. Being able to get those one reps with the one receivers, the guys that you're actually going to play with, because everybody runs different. His ball is different than the other quarterbacks, right? And so it's all about the reps. And I think it's really starting to show and really pay off as far as us in the passing game, being able to hit those timing throws and some of those shots down the field. And I think that's really the difference in the season is early on we weren't making the big plays down the field. We weren't hitting those shots. And now we've really hit those shots, and it's opened up games and opened up big leads early in games where you can kind of relax and continue to play football without the stress that we've had in some of the games.
Rick in the back.
Hey, Coach, talk about the importance of getting off to a quick start as you guys have in the last couple weeks and what that does to the psyche of the offensive players as the game moves on.
I believe that the quick starts really here at Tennessee has not been successful in the past years, and really what you want to do is get off the quick starts to get guys confident. You want to make sure early in the season that we instilled in our players that, man, we're going to get off to a quick start, be able to score points, and it's not the same old story where, oh, here we go again. And I think we're really starting to feed off of that. The defense is off to a quick start, offense is playing, and we're really starting to put, 4 quarters together as a team, right? And I think that's what it's all about is us coming together as a team, us scoring points on offense and defense, coming up with some big-time TFLs.
Patrick and Vince.
Kodi, you kind of talked about the smaller rotation earlier. I don't know what the snap counts are for those top 3 guys, but obviously they're playing a lot. What does it say about their stamina level that they can play that many snaps in this offense as much running as they do? And maybe do you guys track how much they run during a game, and maybe what's the furthest any one of those guys is?
For sure. We track how much our guys run in practice every single day. We track how much they run in the game. And I think it just speaks to what we do offensively, how we play up tempo, and that's how we practice. That's what we do. That's who we are. And so when you get into a game and some of those guys are getting upwards of 70, 80 reps, it's not a problem. And they get stronger as the game continues to go because that's what we do. That's who we are, and that's our identity on offense. So been very impressed with the way they've performed so far. And obviously it's a long season. We got to continue to go and stay healthy, but I think we're going to continue to get better and play better on the back end of games.
2 quick things, Kodi. You kind of referenced it earlier that now that you're hitting some of those throws down the field with Hendon, that it's helping you guys on offense. But how much does it help you to evaluate your receiver room when you're able to have that consistent quarterback play and hit on some of those throws?
For sure. You always want to see receivers given an opportunity to make a play, right? As we all know, I believe in if the ball touches your hands, you need to catch the ball. And we've been given those opportunities, and I think for the most part we've made some big-time plays down the field. And like you said, it gives you an opportunity to see where you are in your receiver room. When those guys' numbers get called, they have made plays, and hopefully we can continue to do that.
And you guys had kind of, in the players of the postgame, talked about relaxing a little bit, in that second half of the game. How do you guys avoid that moving forward?
I think just continuing to be aggressive. Our style of offense is up-tempo. We play fast. And whenever you get those big leads, it's an easy tendency, man. Let's kind of slow it down and run the clock out a little bit. But we're an aggressive offense. We're going to stay aggressive. And like Coach Hype talked about, it's 1 or 2 guys on every play that can really be the difference in us continuing to move the ball in those drives. So it comes down to a lack of focus and a lack of execution in those moments, and we cannot relax to be able to push through.
Last question, Ben.
Kodi, just when you've watched the tape and from the receivers coach vantage point, just what have you seen from Hendon and kind of how he's progressed as he's kind of taken over since Joe got hurt early?
Tell you what, Hendon, phenomenal quarterback, great competitor. What I see more than anything with Hendo is the moment's not too big. He sits in the pocket, and the guy gets beat up, and he runs the ball 15, 20 times a game, and he's really the toughest guy on the field. And that's what you want to see from a quarterback, that guys have confidence in him, that when you sit in the pocket and you take hits like he does and you're still able to complete balls down the field, that's big time on his part. And, man, we got confidence in whoever the quarterback is, and obviously right now Hendo's kind of taken the bull by the horns the last few weeks, but been extremely excited for him because he's a great kid, phenomenal, humble competitor, and it shows up on game day.
Thank you.
Good.